someone is watching. Hi guys. Say hi, say hello. And where are you watching from? Let me know. Let me see who we've got. Please join. Say hi. Like the video, please, as you join in. Please like the video. Let me see who we've got. I'm just going to share the video and let people know we are live. Hold on a minute. Why am I unable to share? Try again one more time. Why am I unable to share? Good gracious. Oh, there we go. Hi everybody, welcome to Bella Fountain TV. How are you all doing? How is everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing good. Please, as you join in, like the video and invite all your village people to join us today. Hi. Welcome. Who do we have in the house? Say hello, say hi. I'm just trying to share the videos, guys, and I'll get back to read and see who is joining us. Welcome to Bella Fountain TV. How is everybody doing today? Let's just wait and get a few more people and we can start. I will give a shout out. Let me just... G-Spot! Hi, darling. Welcome. Claudia B, I see you, my darling sis. Welcome. How are you all doing today? I haven't seen Russian Bomb today. I didn't see my backbone today. And Mama Alicia, I didn't see Mama Alicia today as well. Hi, everybody. Be Dada in the building. Welcome, my beloved sis. Let's talk mental health, my beautiful brothers and sisters, mommies and daddies. Let's talk about mental health. Share the video, guys. Like the video and share it so we can get more people. As you come in, please just click the like button. If this is your first time here, you're very much welcome as always into the Bella house. We are a little happy family. A little happy family. We respect each other. We respect each other's point of view. And we love to share our ideas together. So feel free to drop your comments. Politely disagree if you have to. Yes, G-Spot. That's the whole reason we need to talk about it and re-educate ourselves about this whole stigma that surrounds mental health. Let's just have a few more people and we will crack on. Few more people, I will crack on. While we are waiting for people to join us, peace person, Muma Abella. Abella Mumara, my very barefoot sis. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Right. So while we're waiting for people to join in, please, as you come in, like the video and share. Let's talk about this a recent development in Cameroon. I've read it, I've seen some communiques around, and it's talking about pregnant girls in school. So the minister, I think it's the Minister of Secondary Education, Nalova, she's approved a new policy where pregnant girls will not be dismissed in secondary schools or schools any longer. So I saw that and I had mixed feelings about that. I had mixed feelings about this whole issue. I don't know what you all think about it. Immediately, my initial reaction was like, oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. Because a lot of girls have been discriminated upon just because they're pregnant. So the male counterpart goes on to pursue their academic career. And then Juicy, welcome, my juiciest sis of them all, welcome. So while the male beauty queen, I see you, welcome. Hola, command stack, you know my Spanish. So while the boys go on to carry on with their studies, the girls are always put out of school. So I thought, oh, that's fantastic. The girls can now go to school even though they are pregnant and pursue their academic career, and life goes on. And then the other side of me is thinking, maybe they should think about or work towards a preventive method, so we don't even have to get to teenage pregnancies. You know, that's me thinking, the other side thinking. Está bene. That's good. So I'm thinking, should they not actually put like measures in place to actually prevent those young girls from getting pregnant, like holiday camps, like apprenticeships, things to keep them engaged so they don't have to get involved in things that will lead them to unwanted pregnancies. So I'm actually like in two minds when it comes to this whole new policy by the Minister of Secondary Education in Cameroon. So I don't know, drop me your thoughts. What do you think about it? Have you heard about it? What are your own opinions about this? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think they would have done it differently? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Drop your comments, let me know. Drop your comments, let me know. Army General, I hail you, the strongest. Your place day, sis. I hail you, I hail you, I hail you. What's good? Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry, baby had a tiny weenie fall. Right. So what do you think about it? What do you think about it? And then, I mean, another thing that actually has caught my attention recently on social media. This is a thing. It's almost like, oh, Abijara, I'm so honored that you're able to make it. Yvette Mocha, my darling sis, welcome, darling, welcome. My very own hardworking sis, I see you. I mean, there's this thing on social media which is actually like disturbing, you know, from what we know growing up, even here in the Western world, we know that our seniors should lead the way. They should lead by example. They should be our role models in everything that they do, think or say. They should be like role models. But what I see in the 237 media space, it's the opposite. It's the opposite, and that's very worrying. It's very worrying. I like the new policy. No one should be prevented from going to school. No one should be prevented from going to school because they are pregnant. Okay, yeah, this person, I agree, sis. That was my initial thought. That was my initial thought. So how many guys? Okay. So peace person is saying she agrees with that. So like I was saying, you see our seniors on social medias, what is wrong with us? As in, look at the like the mothers. The mothers were supposed to lead by example, you know. Rather, they are actually encouraging bad behavior. And the way they reason, their critical thinking is appalling. And it's funny because we've been so structured in a way to think that these adults, especially back home, are always correct. And because we think that, and some people have not moved on from that mentality to question things, they follow like sheep. And that's how we will keep having, if we're not challenging and questioning things, we will keep having a generation of hopelessness, generation of hopeless youths, generation of hopeless leaders, because we don't have seniors who are leading us. So we have to, I'm calling on all my youths to challenge people. It doesn't matter your age, but do it politely. Because when I think about, I'll give you guys an example. Sorry, I have to talk about this before we move into today's topic. When I think about a mother, an elderly person who actually claims to be well educated, okay, sits and says red. Anybody who wears red or decorates their house red is actually an indicator, is a sign of initiation, of voodooism, of cultism, and people are applauding it. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in 2022. This is like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in 2022. That somebody would say, because you've decorated your house in red, the color that you so choose, like I'm having a red lipstick, so I must be a vampire. So they're saying because you've decorated your house in all red, you are a marine spirit. You are a cult member, okay? And people were cheering and applauding because this is a senior person who is educated, according to them, more than they are. So whatever they say goes. Okay, and this is somebody sitting in the tight corner and saying all this crap, cook and bull story. And then the irony is the same people who are saying that red is a sign of initiation. Come on, guys, we need to challenge our elders. There's so many bad ones here we need to get rid of from our society, because if we don't, we will be stagnant. The same person or people who are saying red is a sign of initiation come out on Mother's Day with red headgear, red agbada bubu, red shoe, red lipstick, red eyeshadow, red earrings, red, like a dragon's mouth. So I don't understand if they went to their own incantation, because if that's the case, they must have gone to their own incantation and just returned from the incantation in their red attire. And this particular person, you must be the chief priest because you came in all red. I'm sure you had red knickers on. I'm sure. And the guest of the show just celebrated the birthday, putting on a red ballroom gown, trotting on a red carpet, and people are saying, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. And now you're singing happy birthday to a cult follower or disciple? Question mark. Youths, let's challenge all these people coming to claim to be adults or educated people or mothers who want to make our community better challenge their thoughts, because those people, they will do anything to please us because they have hidden agendas. Rise up, youth. Use your IQs and question things. I couldn't believe somebody would say red. Red is the color of Buddhism. Somebody was educated. We need to be mindful of who we choose to listen to on social media. Even me, when you see, if I say something that is not correct, challenge it. Challenge it. And it's through challenging that you learn and you find out if truly that person, you know, has facts to back up their statements. Because if we keep letting it slide, we will have all these leaders leading us down the drain, taking away our destiny, taking away our prosperity, because they are living in their old archaic times, still reminiscing their time in the village, running around the village rivers, thinking of mermaids sitting there and bathing, all those mentality in their usual days. We need to challenge those things. Gone are those days, okay? Things can be explained. If it cannot be explained, we keep researching until you can find an explanation for things. Now, anything that we cannot explain, we associate it to black magic. Why? Why? My maker, my peace, welcome, darling. I see you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you making the time to join us. So let's question those people who claim to be our mothers or seniors, coming here, trying to fool people left, right, center, and spitting out gibberish about cultism and all. If you're educated, you don't say such rubbish. You don't spit it out. You don't even think it. Red is a beautiful color. When I think about red, I think of power, empowerment. A powerful lady steps up. When a woman dresses in red, it's a sign of strength. It's like gone are those days where people only associate, people associated death, black to death. Now people go to funerals all dressed up and glammed up and looking all beautiful, you know, geared up. Now when you think about funerals or wake, people don't immediately think black. No. But people are still, they are funny enough, there are still people living in the days of, how can I put it? Living the days of the Homo sapiens, the early man, the Iron Age man. Live na JJ, welcome, darling. Treaty, I see you. Welcome, my sweet. So let's just, people like that, we take no notice of them. Take no notice of people who want to mislead you. Please challenge them. Challenge them. Challenge them. Okay, guys, let's get into today's topic, because please like the video as you come in. Let's get into today's topic because Queen Dopes is going to be doing a movie night for us. So after my show, I'm going to make it exactly one hour, because 8 o'clock she'll be streaming from 8 o'clock, so we can all go there and indulge. I have my big, where is it? I have my massive bucket of popcorn that I will be indulging it in. I'll indulge in it. So yeah, we'll meet there. Red signifies life, health, vigor, war, courage, love, religious favor, and sometimes anger. Thank you. Thank you, Joycey. Thank you. And I can imagine your frustration listening to someone spit out such rubbish that red is about cultism. 21st century, wake up, people. Wake up. I will not and never sit and see someone mislead others. I will have to speak. I will have to speak. Okay. So, right, let's move straight into today's topic. Mental health, the silent killer. I've made a topic. I've done a show before. I dropped a video, like few minutes video before, one of my early videos. Auntie Sifu in the building. Auntie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys, that's my auntie. She runs a YouTube page also called Clear Minds and Self-Healing Limited. So check her out. Amazing. She does things like this. This topic I'm talking about is she's a specialist in that area. So she can tell you more about all this. Check out her page. It's amazing. So mental health, the silent killer. It's absolutely important that we talk about it. I will keep talking about it. And it's important that more people talk about it. Talk about it with your friends, your family, your parents, your children, your workmates, because it's so important, especially within our community as Africans. It's not something that we talk about it a lot because it's been stigmatized a lot as well. So it's important that we talk about this health thing. If you see me doing videos over and over about mental health, it's because I want this message to go forth. And I'm pleading on people to share it and get the word out there as well. So, we've seen a lot of posts going around about popular Nollywood actress Genevieve Naji concerning her mental state of mind. Okay, I would say they're rumors because she hasn't come out to say, or any of her a member of her management team has not come out to say a word regarding these rumors or the information that's circulating on social media. And it is alleged that she is having some mental crisis. Okay, and the reason why people have come to this conclusion is because initially she started posting some very random videos on her Instagram page about the world being temporary and some funny images, and then suddenly she deleted all her posts on Instagram and unfollowed everybody. And people have been so concerned about her well-being because they haven't seen her in any social gathering or with her friends, or she hasn't been in contact with some of her friends, and people are concerned about it, and everybody's like worried. And some people are shocked about the fact that Genevieve Naji could be going through some mental crisis. Okay, others are not shocked. For people who are aware or who have some knowledge of what mental health entails, they're thinking, okay, no, it's been normal, she's also human. But people will think, oh, the lifestyle, the person that she is, her status in society, it's like she's living this life of affluence. She's got everything going for her. So why would she be suffering from this? And for people who cannot explain it, like I said, they would now attribute it to witchcraft. And for others, they've attributed it to alleged drug abuse, which is a shame because we can't come to that conclusion since no official statement has been made. So that's the reason why I wanted to look about this topic again, because we have had Cameroonian celebrities who have actually come forward and cried out about their mental state of mind. We've seen Askia come out. We've seen Tina come out. I've done a video about Tila the last time. We've seen that of Late Fish. There's so many of them. Okay, so these mental issues among celebrities shouldn't be a shock to anybody. It shouldn't be a shock. If anything, you should expect it, because the pressure that comes with fame is huge. It's so huge that some people cannot manage. And when you are in the public eye, you are expected to behave or carry yourself in a certain manner. And for some people, that's difficult because they want to be their true self. But of course, you can't be your true self because your whole persona, it's a brand. So you have to behave in the way that your fans, that will appease your fans. Okay, so it's almost like it's your alter ego all the time. You have to live a separate life in private and compared to the one that you live in public. And for some people, they can't handle it. Okay, they are struggling because they are not happy with the way things are. But that's just the reality, because you cannot have it all. It's a give and take. You sacrifice your real personal life for fame. Many a times, that's the reality of all this, but that's what happens. And for some people, they can manage it so well, especially with the support of their team. And for others, they just can't, especially if they're not expecting that level of fame and it comes like boom. Absolutely, they want to avoid tabloids, so they hold it all. Exactly, and Sisifo, they want to avoid all the criticism, public criticism. Belinda Sacco, welcome, sis. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So they try and buckle everything in, and they can't be themselves. Think about it. If you look about the royal family, it's the same. You think they have it all, they're not happy because you're expected to behave a certain way, even if you don't like it, because that's what brings in the money. That's what maintains the family name. So all of this, they struggle. And for somebody like Genevieve Naji, I would think that that's probably what she's going through. And remember, when COVID happened, okay, a lot of people, the source of income, things changed dramatically. Personal way of life, career, the employment sector, everything changed. And for some people to make that adjustment was so difficult, and some people couldn't even make the adjustment at all. And so it had a ripple effect in so many ways, and mental health is actually one of them. It's actually one of it. So there's like a rise in the level or percentage of people with mental health issues when this whole COVID situation happened. So we need to bear that in mind. And the thing is, for us Africans, when we think about mental health, the first thing we come for our mind, we see person the pick paper for road, person the craze. It's immediately somebody says mental health, that's what people are thinking, craze, you don't craze. But mental health, there's more to mental health than meets the eye. Let me just read a few comments there. Peace person Bella, the truth now say Cameroonians, they no still believe say mental breakdown and sick. Exactly. It's like any other disease. It's like kidney failure. It's like liver failure. It's like typhoid. It's an illness, but it just affects your mental capability. And that's the reason why we need to talk about it, so it's not stigmatized. So more people can talk about it, so people get necessary help that they so deserve. We Africans, especially Cameroon, are still very backward and in denial when it comes to mental health. So true, Joycey. Looking beautiful, darling. Thank you, Belinda Sacco. Thank you, sis. You're right. Too much competition among themselves. Yes, competition is huge. People joke a lot when someone summons the courage and opens up about their mental health. Yes, they joke about that a lot, Peace person, because recently I made a video about this girl called Ashu Kelly and her mental state of mind. I went through her page and saw that this girl has gone through child abuse, and she been posting, crying for help. And you see the post, people bashing her, calling her clout chaser and all sorts of names. And that's just because we really underestimate the severity of mental illness as Africans, Cameroonians especially. We underestimate it. We do. And we need to keep talking about it and unlearn those behaviors that we've learned over the years about treating people with mental issues. I know nowhere to the worrisome of us, but the lack of education about mental health is the primary reason why people die in silence. Yes, for sure. For sure. For sure. So people think, when you think about people think about mental health, immediately they're thinking person don't craze, madness. And for us Cameroonians, when they associate you with madness, that's like a taboo. It's a taboo because it comes with so many consequences. People don't want to get married in that family because there's madness runs in their blood lineage. There's so many things that come with it. A lot of things come with it, and we need to talk about that, because madness is just one of the symptoms when it comes to mental health issues. There's so many issues, so many mood swings, change in eating habits, insomnia. You can think about hallucination. You can think about change in sex habits. You can think about withdrawal from friends and family. You can think about delusion. So you're detached from, you can't even relate to normal day-to-day situations. People cannot even manage their normal day-to-day challenges. There are so many symptoms. So these are the things we should be looking at, when it comes to mental situation, mental health issues. These are some of the symptoms. We don't only wait and see people running mad on the street. That's a worst case scenario. okay, running mad, and we see people being put in chains. And I'm sure sometimes when people hear about mental health, and if you say to them, maybe you want to discuss about your mental well-being, your mental health, and they think, oh my God, immediately they picture somebody in chains, in shackles. Because growing up, that's what was done to them, you know. They were put in shackles, and they were like, you know, chained, and they were fed like dogs. When I think about it now, I feel so bad. I feel so bad, you know, the way people with mental issues were treated back then when I was like a child. It's so bad. We used to have this old man, he's of late now, you know, he was like the mental health traditional healer in the area where I grew up in Bafut. And he had like hundreds of mental case people in his residence, or at his residence. And in the evening, you will see you would hear shackles, like shackles. I can still hear it when you're walking past that street. You will hear shackles, people screaming, you know. It was just it's a horrendous sight to see, and sounds to hear. And I'm sure a lot of people, when they hear mental illness, they are actually thinking about such situations, and that prevents them from speaking up. Exactly, Juicy. Depression, disorder, schizophrenia, eating disorder, addictive behavior, so many. These are the symptoms, some of the symptoms that we should be looking at, because you could be going through some mental health crisis without even knowing. And that's just because we've been made to believe that mental illness is only picking papers or going actually mad on the street, shouting, running naked, speaking rubbish, you know, and it's something that doesn't make sense. I watched the Red Table Talk on the late Miss USA episode from her mother, how she had suffered mental health crisis for long. I really felt bad. Yes, Yvette. And that's another celebrity. That's what I mean. People would think they have it all. Why are they struggling mentally? It's so many things, like I mentioned. Fame comes with a lot of pressure. You have to maintain it. And she's Miss World. She has to maintain a certain weight, a certain height, a certain way of talking. So many expectations for just one human being. You know, they become overwhelmed, and they're living like robots. They lose touch of emotions. They start thinking otherwise. And before you know it, their mental state of mind has gone downhill. Now, Bella, my question is, I am going through mental health, being addicted to social... Juicy. Social media shenanigans saga, because one form of mental illness is addictive behavior. Listen, sis, if you think it's addictive, you cannot do without the social media. You may want to take a break. On a serious note, because trust me, it can be addictive as well. There are people who are addicted to social media. You know, when you realize that you're spending so much, actually, my husband actually said to me today, don't you think you're spending a lot more hours on social media than you would normally? And actually I said, yes. Oh yeah, I've actually realized it, and I need to do something about it. You know, if you feel like you're really getting addicted, you can't do without, you have almost like withdrawal symptoms, you may want to think about it and back down a bit. Because there was a time I actually let go, like, you know, for a while. I was just coming and saying hi and giving it a breathing space, because you want to relax your brain sometimes. Because if you don't, you can't be that productive and effective, Juicy. And we want you full force, you know, to bring down all the shenanigans. Also, they have a platform to speak on. If the common man speaks, it's not loud enough. Exactly. Auntie Sifu, people like that need to speak up. They need to use their platform. The awareness will even go, you know, broader if people would use bigger platforms and speak up about this. That's why we have to applaud and praise anyone who comes forward, like a celebrity or somebody, a public figure who comes forward and talks about this mental health. And then people can relate, because don't forget, a lot of people relate with their celebrities. They trust them. It's like they're semi-god. They trust and believe in their celebrities. They will do anything their celebrity tells them to do. That's why a lot of celebrities are used as influencers, because influence, what does that mean? So you actually, you influence the behavior of somebody who looks up to you. So when they have a bigger platform as such, it's good to always use it. Atkins Diamond, welcome, darling. Fame comes with a lot. That's why so many celebrities are always victims. Yes. I'm serious, Bella. I can't do without, and I'm not even willing to take a break off it, because when I see how negative it's affecting our society. Yeah, I know. I get the feeling. And that's why, and that's dangerous, Juicy, because you have to think about yourself first, doses as well, because trust me, you don't want to do it in the long run where it doesn't become productive anymore. Okay. Sometimes we let our emotions lead us, and not the rational thinking. And that's where we start, getting into trouble, because the negativity is always going to be there. It's always going to be there when you come back. And there are so many people who are actually also fighting for the same cause that you're fighting, Juicy. So even if you take 2 days off, it will not kill you. It will not kill you, because when you come back, you will sit back, you will watch things that have you come back with a fresh, full eye and mind, and you're able to tackle things differently. Look at Dopes. Dopes has been off for how many days now? It doesn't mean she's going to die. Tyra has been off for how many days now? She's not going to die. She's going to come back. She's going to come back even more, refreshed, and she's going to be able to produce or be more productive. She's going to give out better material, So sometimes it's good to step back, take a step back, notch it down a step or two, and come back fully fleshed and beefed up. Okay, so now we talk about some of the symptoms of the mental health situation and all whatnot. I want us to go now and look thoroughly. The Dollars vlog, welcome, sis. Juicy. I'm in general, and Dollarway, I don't really pack my suitcase. Mafo Relindis, welcome, sis, sweet sis. I see you. Yeah, Juicy, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's a whole family, so it can't just be you. So when you feel like it's taking a toll on you, you have to step down a bit and take a break. Take a break, cool off, and then you come back. The body is not a machine. It will reach a breaking point. And don't take it for granted. When you feel you're already feeling like it, take a day or two off. It's so important. Trust me, it's very important. Happy weekend, Dollars vlog. Happy weekend, sis. Auntie Titi, welcome. Please like the video. As you come in, I can see 21. I see 16 likes. Please like the video. 22, 16 likes. Like the video, guys, please. And share until it can reach as many people as possible. Now, let's go to the causes. Some possible causes of mental health problems, okay? When I'm going to talk about this, I will use some examples, because I like to talk with examples so people can relate. Ciara is Tyra, my love. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming. So let's look at some of the possible causes of mental health issues. So the first will be childhood abuse or trauma. Childhood abuse, trauma, or neglect. Okay, that would be the first we're looking at. This is very common. It's very common. And the sad thing is, it actually manifests itself. Thanks, Bella. I'm sure I've heard your advice. I'll go. Juice is not serious. Oh, Lord, have mercy. You, Juicy, I'll find your kidney. Saturday, I'm back Sunday. Yes, take a break, even if it's a day. Emily, that's my beautiful sister-in-law in the building. Hello, sis. Welcome. I see you guys. You guys should pump some love for my beautiful sister-in-law. First time to join me here. Swampy area. Welcome, darling. Bella. I see you. I see you. So, the General Overseer. Oh my God. I bow for you, my general. I bow for you, my general. The prophetess herself, your place day. Honestly, your place day, the general. I can't thank you enough for always standing for the truth. You show humility in so many ways. So I thank you for that. And I pray that you continue with that same energy. Your last show was very moving and touching. I know we had 1 or 2 hiccups and I was part of it with all the distractions, and I apologize once more, but that show was a powerful show. You can see the effect that your show has had in our 237 community. Keep doing your job, sis. Keep doing it because you're doing fantastic. You are. So, sadly enough, childhood trauma, okay, which can be abuse. Let love lead, my beautiful, beautiful boo. Welcome in the building. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Childhood trauma, it can come as a result of maybe childhood abuse, be it from relatives, like for example, an orphan who had no family. Thank you, Emeline. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support as well. It can be from relatives, like an orphan. You take an orphan child to help, you end up abusing this child. It can be a physical abuse. It can be sexual abuse. In the case of this Ashu Kelly, which she alleged in so many of her posts that she was abused as a child. Those things, they are all buckled up when when they are young. And unfortunately, it manifests. It only manifests. Oh, thank you. The Dollars Block says it only manifests when they are adults. Okay, unfortunately. So you can imagine somebody who has been struggling with this. Rebecca Ako says, welcome, darling. I see you. A child who has been abused and traumatized, they have to live with this trauma from childhood until they became teenagers and adults. So they have to deal with this. They can't even express their feeling. Think about you as an adult. You can't even express your feeling. And this person has been dealing with this from the age of maybe 5 or 4 or 6 when they're aware of things, and they've buckled this up and it explodes when they are older, because then they almost lose their sense of identity, their sense of belonging, their sense of self-worth. They don't even know who to trust. They are all lost. And their minds start playing games. Like they're abandoned. They feel hopeless and helpless. And before you know it, they're in a very dark space. And they start manifesting all these symptoms we're talking about. Withdrawal, insomnia, hallucination, all these things, they start experiencing it. So for me, when a child goes through trauma, it's the most dangerous one, because I remember this Ashu Kelly saying in one of her posts that she was made to serve food to somebody who had sexually abused her. She can't say anything because family said shush. The family said shush because they want to protect the family name. And that's what she alleged. She didn't say exactly it was her. She alleged from the sentence, you can actually tell that she was talking about herself. So there's so many children going to depression or mental health crisis, and people will be surprised from a very young age. From a very young age, they're experiencing mental health issues because of past traumatic experiences, being physical, emotional, or sexual. Then you talk about another possible cause, which will be exactly. Peace Penny said that child has gone through a lot of sexual assault. Yeah, if you go through her page, you will see a lot of it, a lot of it. She said it. Mental health is something I have been through and I'm getting better by his grace. Oh, sis, why didn't you share with me, you this my sister? But I'm glad that you're getting through it, and I'm hoping that you're getting the right support that you so need. I would really appreciate you to do so, okay? Because you are fantastic, you're amazing, you know? So make sure you get the right help. I'm rooting for you, I'm praying for you. Always know you can touch base if you need me at any point. I went through depression in this America. I did not want to see anyone and practically shut myself from the world. Exactly. And this is what I mean. A lot of people talk about it. Hazel Ayok TV, welcome sis, welcome. Great show you did today. People need to talk about it. You need to talk about it, let love lead. So since you know about it now, that's what you're going through, and so you need to look out for somebody who may be going through the same issue like you did, so you can help them and talk to them how you dealt with your one. And if you can't help them, obviously you can direct them and show them to get the appropriate treatment that they so deserve. Another possible cause is social isolation or stigma. Social isolation or stigma, for example, it can be an issue of somebody, there's a lady, I'll give you an example. There's a lady where people, where when I was young, growing up, people accused her of being a witch, and so they avoided her. Okay, and that's only because she was suffering, I've said this before, from alopecia. If you haven't heard about alopecia, it's a form of it's an illness where you lose your hair based on stress and other issues. Okay, and because people are not aware about alopecia back in the days, she was termed a witch, and so people isolated the lady. And if you tell, the lady was living a life of isolation. She was always very quiet, very reclusive in her own little corner, and people will make fun of her. Okay, and so you can tell already when I look back and I'm thinking what the mental torture that woman would have gone through. Because people used to say it's because she turns into a rat and goes to steal, and they pour hot water on her, so it peels off her skin as a rat, so she comes back without the hair. That was what was going around the neighborhood about this lady suffering from alopecia. So she was being, isolated in a corner. It's the same with people with HIV, which is nothing serious anymore. It shouldn't longer be a stigma. People isolate or avoid people with HIV because they have HIV. They don't want to be associated with such person. And these people are already dealing with such, a stigma that they know people are looking at them in sideways. And then you have to think about the fact that no one comes to your corner. You have to deal with it on your own. So people are struggling and they can't cope with that, and that can lead them to a state of depression. Exactly like Jada Pinkett. Whoever no alopecia because of Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, and Chris Rock. Whoever didn't know it, you should know it by now. If you notice Kelly, did ever try forget attention? Kelly Makochi here. Oh, is that, oh, peace person, I know him. Oh yeah, Kelly, as in the Ashu Kelly. Yes, and that's one of the symptoms of mental issue. Peace person, Muma. That's one of the symptoms. Yes, exactly. Another cause of mental illness could be bereavement. Yes, bereavement is a big one. Juicy, thank you so much for putting that, because bereavement is a great loss. And you can't even explain to somebody when you're bereaved, because we all experience bereavement differently. For some people, they can cope, they can bounce back so easily, but for others, the idea of losing that person, or having lost that person, it's incomprehensible. They can't even come to terms with it. Some of them even blame themselves. They're saying, "Oh, I wish I would have done something. I would have gone in their place instead of them." Like a mother who's just lost a child, a father who's just lost a child, or sister who's lost a sibling, or brother who's lost a sibling, and they feel guilty at times that maybe if they'd done something differently, they wouldn't have died. Why did they die? And they're struggling, especially they were so close together, they can't deal with the absence of this person. They feel like life is not worth living for them again. Like a wife, You're married to your husband for goodness knows 20, 30, even 5 years. You have that special bond, and your spouse, you know, unfortunately dies. And you have to deal with it. This is somebody you've shared moments with. It's like your best friend. Where do you start? Some people struggle psychologically or mentally, while others cope. And for people who struggle mentally, they have mental breakdown. And if they don't get the right treatment, they will end up being depressed, or end up exhibiting withdrawal symptoms, or end up hallucinating and seeing their person. Some people, you know, that's why you see some people say, oh, I saw them, they were standing by the window. You know, you've heard those things before. Okay, things like that happen. And that's all mental health issues displayed right there in front of our eyes. If I need help, welcome, darling. I see you. Please like the video as you come in. Okay. Another possible cause of mental health crisis could be poverty or sudden loss of income. I mentioned about the whole COVID situation, how it affected a lot of people. It affected the job markets. So many people lost their jobs. Some people have been struggling with, you know, trying to get 3 square meals a day. And for people who've been having 3 or more meals a day, they had to cut back. International Boss Lady, welcome, welcome, sis. It's good to have you back. It's good to see you here. You're very much welcome. Thank you so much for always praying for our community and for always giving such great advice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So when COVID hit, people lost their job. People had a drop of income, and some people were like actually relying on charity organizations that actually had to shut their doors, you know, and those people were struggling. There was an instance here, a situation that happened here in the UK, which is so sad. I'm going to tell this story. It's such a sad story, very, very sad story. And it was actually a Congolese lady. She was struggling, a single mother, especially single parents. Single parents have really struggled during this tough period. You know, pressure of life and limitations. So yes, sis, it is. Pressure of life, it takes a toll on us. So this single lady, the Congolese lady, she was barely making ends meet. She was a single mom. The baby daddy abandoned her and moved away. And she was struggling. She lost her job, and she couldn't even have like 2 square meals a day. So she was relying on this church organization. For food and clothes and everything. Oh, that's okay, sis. Take our king to bed. He deserves his royal attention. That's okay, sis. So this lady was actually relying on this church NGO. And because of COVID, this church NGO couldn't provide the services that they were providing to this lady, you know, and she went, you know, maybe out of dignity or shyness. This lady went for days without food. And you know what? She died of starvation. This lady died of starvation, and her 2-year-old baby slept on his dead mom for 2 days without knowing that the mom was dead. And that's because of hunger. This lady, you can imagine the torment, the mental trauma she would have gone through, not knowing where she was going to get the meal for the next day. She died in her own house like a scavenger, out of, you know, due to poverty. And probably because she was ashamed. She couldn't come to terms to bring herself to go out and beg for food from maybe neighbors or friends. When I heard this story, I broke down. Yes, Yvette. When I heard this story, I broke down. You know, that's how sad, that's how far people can go when it comes to poverty. This lady couldn't afford a single meal, so she died, and her son was lying on the mother's dead body for days until neighbors came and discovered it, or the police. They reported that they haven't seen her, and the baby. Oh, it's a sad story. Okay, so imagine that woman would have gone through some mental trauma, some crisis, and I'm sure friends. That's why we say look out for your fellow friends and sisters, because If somebody was keeping in constant touch with her, they would have probably picked it up. They would have picked it up, checking on her. Okay. And for people who had all the monies and suddenly their businesses crashed, they couldn't provide for their families like they used to do. You know, they couldn't have all the jet set lifestyle that they did. That's why you see people who have been claimed billionaires and millionaires jump to their death because they've lost all this income. Just the thought, the shame of not being able to live, you know, maintain that way of life that you've always done in years. You know, that competition, like one of my fellow one has put it down here, that competition, that shame that comes with not being able to compete. You go through dark phases in your life, and then before you know it, you're depressed and you can't handle it anymore. And some people, the best way is to exit. The best way is to exit. Another thing that could cause mental health problems would be a long-term physical illness. Stroke, blindness, deafness, amputation. You know, think about all the long-term illnesses that one can possibly suffer from. We have seen it displayed on social media. If you realize, you've seen people. That's why sometimes you ask, why are certain vloggers so bitter? Why are they exhibiting signs of delusion, lack of connection with real life situation? With real life situation. Why are they struggling? Hitchhiker, welcome sis. Why are they struggling with real life situation? Why are they so bitter at the world? Why do they want to drag other people into their misery? And if you look at it, some of them have gone through long-term physical illnesses like stroke. And because they've had this stroke, they feel like the world is against them. They are so angry. They can't manage it anymore. You think about your life you used to live before, how you used to go clubbing, how you used to go, you attack all those programs, go to all the parties, you know, you were almost like the lady of the hour. And then suddenly you're hit by this stroke and you're bedridden. And then for some reason, you can't even, you regain your health, but you can't, your mobility is actually reduced. Think about how bitter this person would be, from depression, from anger, from frustration. You know, people display all these attributes because of certain long-term illnesses that they cannot manage anymore because it's changed their life for good. They have to almost like start to figure out life again from afresh. For some people, they have to learn to talk. For others, they have to learn to walk. And for some people, they have to learn to use prosthetics. And just to fathom that, they're really struggling mentally. And if you don't have a stable mental, you don't have mental stability, your actions and behavior will be very irrational. You need to get the proper help. You need to seek the appropriate treatment for it. A lot of people who have gone through long-term illness, physical illnesses as well, struggle a lot with their mental health. A lot. The anger that they exhibit, the mood swings, almost like a Jekyll and Hyde mood. One minute they're happy, the next minute they're very sad. It's almost like that. And then you talk about drug abuse. Drug abuse is one of those things that very common. It's very easy. You know, so for people who are using drugs and bragging about drugs, or drugs make me high and happy. Long-term stress as well, Bella, could be another cause of mental illness, just like what Nveshila and drugs, Juicy, you can add drugs to that because a lot of people are bragging when they say drugs is good, I take drugs. When I take drugs, I'm high, I speak sense, I this and that. But those people are all, people like that will they're exhibiting signs and symptoms of the effect of the drugs. Okay, because when you're high on drugs, first of all, there are some drugs that they take, makes you hallucinate. Okay, it makes you hallucinate. For some people, it makes them become robot. No feeling, no emotions. Some of them become forgetful. You say one thing 1 minute, the next minute you say another. You say something and they say you've said it, you refuse that you've not said it. You know, 1 minute you're taking the drugs because you want to be high and you're happy, and the next minute the drugs have faded, the effect of the drugs have faded away. You are now, you know, having another mood swing. And to deal with somebody like that is so difficult because they cannot relate to day-to-day issues. Drug addicts cannot relate to day-to-day issues. So it's so difficult. That's why sometimes on social media, my lovely people, you're struggling and fighting and trying to bring order in the community. And if you see somebody's addicted to drugs, it doesn't make sense to them because they need to get the appropriate treatment, which is either medicated treatment or psychotherapy. So important. They need to be sectioned to get the senses right into them. Simple as that. It's like throwing water on deck's back if you're talking to somebody who is using drugs and you're telling them when they're not in their right senses that what they're doing is not correct. The behavior they're exhibiting is not correct. It doesn't work. It does not work because they need to be sectioned for a psychological test and monitored because that's what they need. That's what they need. So before we go praising people who take drugs and applauding them and encouraging them, we're causing more mental health issues in our society. We're causing more mental health issues in our own very society. And that's why somebody would say, it's okay. Somebody who takes drugs would say, stop going after married men. Stop going after married men because you going after a married man is an abomination. You're disgusting for doing that. And people applaud you for saying that's fantastic. It's a moral lesson. People shouldn't go after married men. Leave married men alone. And the next minute, the same person is saying, oh, woman them plenty. Why not go after married men? Doesn't make sense. That's somebody struggling with their mental state of mind. Somebody is doing that. That's an exhibit that they're struggling with their mental state of mind and they need help. Psychological help. Medicated help. Yes, Rebecca Akko, I saw how her pupils were dilated. She was dilated. She was dilated. She was like somebody talking to you and saying, effects of drugs. Pupils are dilated, they're popping, like they're going to pop out from the cameras. You could tell. You could tell. And then when they exhibit such behaviors, they regret it the next day. They regret it the next day. But the damage has already been done. So for people who are on drugs, they need the appropriate treatment for it. It's absolutely important that they get the right treatment for that. Domestic violence. Domestic violence and domestic abuse can be a possible cause for mental illness as well. Domestic violence and domestic abuse can be you've had the eyes in front of me. Auntie Titi. It's true. Because I saw her pupils. The pupils are dilated. It was like, you know, that bizarre board, that bizarre board, that bizarre board, like the witch eye, you know, the key, there's a key that with eyes, like that. Kwaku, kwaku, like, who has an eye that doesn't move like this? They were like that. The pupils were so dilated. You know? So domestic abuse and domestic violence, it's actually one of them, okay? Because when you go through that, it's very traumatizing. The experience alone, You know, you're treated in a very demeaning manner. You know, it's almost like you're disarmed. You feel vulnerable. You don't feel protected. You feel exposed. And this is for both young and old, men and women. You know, it doesn't matter if I need help. You know, so the domestic abuse and violence goes to all genders, race, color, status, and all. You know, when you go through that, some people you're made to feel very insignificant. Queen Sierra for life. Some people you're made to feel very insignificant, you know. Some people feel like you're nothing without me. And for somebody who feels like they don't have any self-worth or self-confidence, that will knock them down. And they will feel worthless. And sometimes they even feel like, what's the point of me surviving? I might as well just die. Just kill me or kill myself. You know, it's very dangerous. Domestic abuse. That's why sometimes with domestic abuse, people become very withdrawn. People become very withdrawn because it's almost like they're ashamed or afraid to say or talk to other people. And also one of the tactics of the abuser would be to cut you off your relatives. And when they cut you off your relatives, you become isolated and you cannot even help yourself. And there's no one to help you as well. And that takes a toll on your mental state of mind. Some people, they struggle to sleep. Some people, they can't even eat. Eating habit stops. Some people, it's their sexual habits will change. Some people, they want to exit. As sad as it is. Just going to read some few words. I want us to just round up with because I know Sierra is going live very soon. Okay, and also physical injuries can actually cause depression as well, or mental health issues. You know, because it has to do some, especially head injuries that affects your neurological part of the head, like your cognitive section in the head. Things that help you recognize things or relate to things or understand things or question or rational things. If you have a head injury and it affects the cognitive part of your brain, you cannot rationalize things anymore. You don't behave like any normal human being. The beauty queen. The topic really has really made me. What's beauty queen saying? Let me see what beauty queen is saying. The topic has really made you. It made you sad, beauty queen. I don't know that emoji, what it is for. Did it make you sad? Did it make you emotional? I hope it's a topic that you can, if you know somebody who is going through it or you're going through it yourself, it will help you to be able to identify with some of the aspects and seek the necessary help that you need. So emotional. Oh. That's the whole idea, sis. We need to learn. We talk about these things. Sometimes they're very tricky subjects, but as it is at the moment, we have to really talk about mental health issues among us Africans, especially Cameroonians. We need to push that discussion forward. Yeah. So it's absolutely important. I can really connect to this. Yes, sis. Please, if you can connect with it, I'm not a professional. You need to, you know, seek the right help that you so need. It's very important. I can only give you an advice, okay, but I can't give it as a professional. So you may want to seek the real professional advice that you so need, but it's okay. It is well. It's well. It is well. So I talk about physical neurological, and also sometimes what we forget, the most important thing that we forget at times when it comes to mental health issue, when you're caring for somebody, we often forget the carers of sick people. They are always neglected. Okay, people who look after people who are suffering from long-term illnesses, they're often neglected because they feel like, oh, they're well, so they're fine. Looking after a sick person in a long time or during a long period of time actually takes a toll on your mental state of mind. You're not only exhausted physically, but you're exhausted mentally. Even if you love that person till death, trust me, it takes a toll on you. First of all, just to see that person in the state in which they are, and you cannot help them, it's very demanding and challenging mentally. And also it's demanding and challenging mentally to keep up with the care that you have to give to this person. So before we notice it, the person who is caring for someone who has been suffering for a long time ends up, going doolally because of their mental state of mind. They're exhausted mentally. Exhausted. Yeah. So it's very important that we do not neglect carers of long-term illness people. We don't, because it's absolutely important to look after those people, because they actually exert pressure in their mental. You have to be strong to look after this person emotionally and physically. And doing it over a long period of time takes its toll on you. So they'll be thinking, oh, how come you're like mentally you're down? But because you've been struggling to look after this person mentally, is frustrating. So I'm just going to round up by saying, listen, if you're struggling to any mental health crisis, or if you know anybody, or you can identify with any of these signs and symptoms, or you're going through any of the causes of it, you need to take appropriate treatment. And there are so many ways of treating yourself. You can have psychotherapy, therapy that you need to talk to somebody, a talking therapy. You will be able to express yourself, talk about the things that you're struggling to deal with, so that the counselor can help you to deal with your day-to-day activities or day-to-day problems, how to navigate it. So it means, say, church and bail lawyer, Mado, you go through. Yes, it can possibly be, because she's been looking after her husband, who allegedly has been like bedridden for years. And she's exhibiting some behaviors. Trust me, whoever asked that question, it's no joke. It's no joke. It's no joke. Now, serious thing. That's what I'm saying. It's very difficult to talk to somebody who is mentally disturbed if they're not getting the right treatment. That's why sometimes we are talking is in one ear and out the other, because they cannot relate to day-to-day issues or day-to-day problems. They cannot. They're detached from it. That's the challenge you get with somebody who is mentally ill. So please, if you're going through any of these, seek the appropriate help. It means the talking therapy, talking to somebody. We honestly need to talk mental health very seriously, especially us Africans, because we are so in denial. Yes, and that's because of the stigma that's placed, that's attributed to mental health. You see, the stigma. When they talk about mental health, people only think you have to go mad on the streets and pick papers. I passed through that when I was pregnant, and my husband was acting as though I was cheating. Hold on. Let me listen to what. That's a very important statement in the sentence there. I passed through that when I was pregnant, and my husband was acting as though he is cheating on me. I can relate to this very well. I almost gave up. It's worst experience. Exactly. Some people have like postpartum depression. It takes a toll on them. That's why you see some women, they quarrel their picking. Some women quarrel their children because of that depression that they're going through, pre or post. Some people just can't deal. It's overwhelming when they are pregnant. In the case of Queen Sierra for life, some people, they can't deal with the demands that comes with having a child, so they quarrel their picking. And I hope, Queen Sierra, you're fine, darling. I hope you're okay. Now, pregnancy hormones push you to depression. It can. It's a challenging time when you're pregnant. It's a challenging time. When you're pregnant, the hormones are all over the place. So we need to seek the necessary help. If you're pregnant, when you go to talk to you see your antenatal nurses, talk to them. They'll definitely get you the right psychological help that you need, so you can have maybe a talking therapy. For some people, it will be antipsychotic drugs, where for people who are hallucinating, people who are seeing things, people are imagining things, schizophrenic behaviors, they give you antipsychotic drugs, so that you can be able to control those voices in you, you know. And also some people, they give you anti-calmness for people who are suffering from you know, mood swings. So they give you the anti-calmness medication as well. Some people it's antidepressants when you're depressed, but the trouble with antidepressants is that sometimes it can make you become like a robot. And my late uncle was like, you know, on that as well, antidepressant. I did not enjoy the experience at all because he was a man full of life, but as soon as he was on antidepressant, he was like a complete different person. So to me, the medication, sometimes it's solving one problem but causing another. Okay, and there are other therapies like arts and craft or arts and creativity therapies where, you know, like we saw Genevieve Naji in a facility. I don't know what facility it was. I don't know if it was a mental facility, but she was there drawing and painting and doing all these beautiful things. So sometimes you just need that natural environment to be creative, to express how you feel emotionally. And some people, when they use that to express themselves, they are able to come out of that dark areas gradually, slowly but surely. So it's absolutely important. So please, let's, you know, don't treat or stigmatize mental health. Don't stigmatize mental health. It's like any other disease. It's like you having a kidney issue. We deal with it. Why is it that we can support somebody with a liver or kidney problem, but we have to stigmatize somebody with a mental health issue just because that has to do with their brain? If anything, we need to support them more, because when somebody is suffering from a mental illness, they are very vulnerable and exposed to danger. They're vulnerable and exposed to danger because they can't even rationalize the things that are in front of them. They can't even begin to manage the difficulties or the daily challenges, the minor ones that you see minor in front of you. They don't even know that they are suffering from mental illness. That's already a big challenge. So they can't even remember if they've taken a medication or they shower. So self-neglect can kick in. Okay, so if anything, we need to focus our energy more and, you know, support and help people going through mental health crisis, and instead, rather than stigmatizing it, make them to understand that it's okay to talk about it. And mental illness is not just about going crazy and picking papers on the street. There's more to it. If you realize you're struggling to sleep, if you're addicted to something, you can't deal without it, you know, if your eating habits have changed, if you're having anxiety nonstop, your delusion, see somebody who is delusion, in denial of things that are happening to them. Somebody who says you're the villain when they're the villain. You know, people who cannot actually comprehend what is happening around them. It's absolutely important. You know, I have a friend. Let me see what Davi is saying. I have a friend too who has been through this mental health, but thank God she's recovering now. We thank God for that, Lavi. It's a very thoughtful topic to talk on, Annie, because many persons are going through this lately. Yes, a lot of people, especially people going through marital issues, people going through loss of job. Some people have invested money in businesses and it's actually failed, and they're going through serious mental crisis. And because us as Africans and as Cameroonians, we don't see it as a big issue, we think we can manage it ourselves until when it goes to the worst place. You go, yes, more time say, so that person in money, so he get and so now he go put in hand for day. But no, because they've lost that money suddenly and they're struggling with their mental health or mental state of mind, they can't cope with it and they break down, and people start attributing this to all sorts of madness. We need to understand mental health issues. We need to know all those signs, so we don't have to live in regret. Say, had I known, I would have helped somebody. Hi, Evan Lee. Welcome, darling. You're just coming in when we're about to round up. So it's very important that we know these signs, we know the symptoms, we know that there are so many treatments out there. You're not just limited to one. Apart from the medicated treatments, there are also psychotherapy where you talk, the talking treatment, and there's also art and creativity that you can do to channel your emotions and get over with. Please speak up. Speak up. Speak when you're going through a difficult time. Speak up. Sometimes it's also good. My auntie who is here, Auntie Sifu, I said to you guys, she talks a lot about psychological topics. She's mentioned about the chair, the talking to the chair situation, or talking to the mirror. Sometimes just talking to the wall as if you're talking to somebody can help. You know, sometimes people think talking to yourself is madness. No, sometimes it's therapeutic. Talking to yourself, letting it all out. Sometimes I psych myself up Or when I'm anxious, I want to do something, I psych myself up. I talk to myself and get out of my anxiety. Talk to the right person. And there will be one person, the listening ear for you to talk your problems to. I know nowadays people are losing trust in others because of all the negativities happening now around us. Okay. But if you're going through it, please talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Like Peace Person said, because I know if you go and talk to the wrong person, I know obviously it can make matters worse because they will then take it and make mockery of you, make fun of you, and use it against you, and it can make your situation even worse. It's important that we keep talking about it and pushing this topic about mental health forward. So I thank everybody for coming today. I really appreciate you all. I'll see you all again next week, hopefully before Friday or Friday same time. Thank you so much for all your contributions. Please keep talking about it. Let's keep, re-educating people to unlearn that we don't have to stigmatize mental health. So thank you, Emmeline Moni, my own sister-in-law. Thank you so much. Juicy, my biggest support for always being the international boss lady. I appreciate you so much. Rebecca Cole, my sis. Yvette Mocom, I appreciate you. If you need help, please just drop your comments if you are still there watching me so I can call out and appreciate you. Yvette Mocom, my very own sis, I love you so much. Thank you for always being there. Life Not JJ, thank you. Thank you. Let Love Lead. Thank you so much, sis, for always being there and contributing. I appreciate you. If you need help, I've called already. Hitchhiker, thanks so much for being here, sis. I appreciate you as well. Rebecca Cole, Peace Person, my very own Mama. Thank you so much. Auntie Titi, my darling auntie, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support and the contribution. Auntie Sifu Kone, I thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you for actually providing us with great content. Thank you so much. Army General, your place there. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for always being supportive, within the positive community and family. I thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I appreciate it, sis. Beauty Queen, thank you, darling. Thank you. Queen Sarah for live. Thank you. I appreciate you all for coming. My maker, my peace. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Black Chief. Thank you. And thank you for the wonderful question. That was very important. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you all. Lavi, my very own sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here and for your contribution. Ivan Lee, thank you, darling. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Ebe, you're late. Yes, thank you, darling. Thank you for popping in. Catch up with the show later. I appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Love you all so much. Thank you, Army General. Thank you. Let's go and meet our queen and enjoy the cinema. Love you all. Mwah. Goodbye. All right, boss lady is having prayers tonight. Let's join her. As always. All right, boss lady. See you soon. Bye.